So today we will talk about the interest group lobbying and policy influence. So it refers to the efforts made by organized groups to shape the government policies, laws, and regulations in ways that benefit their members and advance their goals. So these organized groups, these pressure groups and interest groups, they represent businesses, workers, environmental causes, and social movements. What is interest group lobbying? So lobbying, it is the process which interest groups communicate with the government officials to persuade them in a certain policy or to a certain policy that they oppose. They provide legislatures, of course, so they information, draft legislation, testify at hearings, and mobilize the public. So we have also the key features of lobbying. First is direct contact with the policymakers. So they have meetings, they call the government officials in the interest group, and also the briefings. Second is we have the providing expertise or research to help shape legislation. Third is we have campaign contribution. So it only allowed in those countries which is they allow that kind of certain activity. Four is grassroots mobilization. So they encourage citizens to contact officials. And lastly is the media campaigns to sway public opinion because they have certain policy, they represent business and most important thing in the society. That's why the media campaigns to sway public opinion.
So my part is to discuss what is policy influence. Policy influence is the broader impact interest groups have on what laws are made and how they are implemented and which issues receive government attention. Influence can happen before, during, or after a policy is created. So let me tell you the examples of interest group lobbying and policy influence. First one is the business or economic interest groups. So these are the groups represent companies or industries. So examples are the U.S. Chamber of Commerce lobbying Congress to reduce corporate taxes or oppose regulations that businesses see as burdensome. The next one is the pharmaceutical companies lobbying to extend drug patients or influence drug pricing rules. The next one is the labor unions, and these are union represents workers' interests. Example, the AFL-CIO advocating for higher minimum wages, worker safety regulations, or stronger labor protections. And the last one is in the environmental groups. These groups push for eco-friendly policies. So the Greenpeace lobbying for stricter emission standards or bans on certain chemicals. The Shara Club supporting clean energy legislation. The very last one is the public interest groups. These groups claim to represent the general public, consumer advocacy groups like Public Citizen, pushing for product safety rules or campaign finance reform. ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, influencing laws related to civil rights and free speech. The professional associations represent people in specific careers. Example, American Medical Association lobbying on healthcare policies or medical reimbursements and public health laws. Ideological or issue-based groups focus on specific ideology or social issue.
Why do interest groups matter? Interest groups matter because they help connect citizens, organizations, and sectors of society or the government itself. They ensure the policymakers hear different viewpoints and opinions. Why does policymakers or groups matter? Number one, they represent diverse interests in society. They represent the different sectors, businesses, workers, farmers, teachers, environmentalists, and all other sectors in the society. Number two, they provide for policymakers with specialized information. Every politician or any other officials does not have the expertise in every field. That's why these groups matter because they provide specialized information. Interest groups often have knowledge and expertise in their issues or in their areas. They provide research of technical data, policy studies, statistical reports, assessments, and expert testimonies. This helps also lawmakers or other public officials understand complex issues before creating, revising, or amending laws. Number three, they mobilize people to participate in democracy. Interest groups encourage members to vote, attend hearings, submit petitions, or campaign for issues strengthening democratic engagement of the country. Number four and last, they monitor government actions. Groups that are called often watchdogs.
How interest groups provide specialized information. Interest groups supply expertise that policymakers may lack. Examples of the information they provide include economic projections, environmental impact studies, labor statistic, health or medical research, and industry-specific technical data. This information helps legislators make informed decisions, especially on technical or sector-specific laws. And here are some real and widely recognized interest groups in the Philippines and the types of the specialized information they provide. Number 1, Makati Business Club or MBC. They provide business and economic policy. Number 2, Trade Union Congress of the Philippines or TUCP. They provide labor laws and workers' rights. Number 3, Kilusang Mamubukid ng Pilipinas or MBP. They provide agriculture and land reform. Number 4, Alianza Tigil Mina or ATM. They provide environmental and anti-mining groups. Number 5, Philippine Medical Association or PMA. They provide health sector. And number 6, Consumer Union of the Philippines. They provide consumer protection.
Now, let us proceed to the pros of interest groups. So first, provide specialized information. So interest groups have experts who study specific issues such as health, labor, environment, and business. They give policymakers valuable information to make informed decisions. And then, second, represent diverse interests. Here, they ensure the different groups such as workers, farmers, businesses, doctors, and environmentalists to have a voice in government. And the third is encourage public participation. Interest groups motivates people to get involved by signing petitions, attending rallies, and contacting officials and voting. Fourth is promote accountability and transparency. Some groups, especially watchdog groups, monitor government actions and expose corruption, misuse of funds, or unfair practices. And the fifth one is protect minority interest. Groups representing minorities or marginalized sectors can raise issues that might be ignored by the majority. Last is improve policy outcomes. By providing data, research, and expert opinions, they help create better and more effective policies.
Cons of interest group. Unequal influence. Rich or powerful groups can influence policymakers more easily through resource, lobbying power, and connections. Poorer groups often struggle to be heard. Policy capture can lead to corruption. Some groups may use money or gifts or pressure to gain favors, leading to unfair decisions and biased policies. Promote narrow interests. Interest groups may focus only on what benefits their members, even if it harms the general public. Spread biased information. Groups may present information that favors their agenda. Slow down the policy process. Conflicts between multiple interest groups can delay laws, especially when groups strongly disagree. Encourage hyper-partisanship. Strong lobbying can deepen divisions among political actors and citizens, making compromise harder.